One night, a police officer finds a drunk man on his hands and knees, searching the ground under a streetlight. "What are you looking for?" asks the police officer. "My keys," says the drunk. So the police officer helps him search. After about 15 minutes, the police officer starts to feel frustrated. "Are you sure this is where you lost them?" he asks. "Oh no," says the drunk. "I lost them over there in the park." "Then why are we looking over here?" "Because it's lighter over here, of course," says the drunk. It's a silly joke, but both Tim Keller and Alvin Plantinga and others use it to illustrate how science hasn't disproved religion. Let's see how. Christianity, like many other religions, claims that miracles have taken place. Think of the resurrection or the feeding of the 5,000. Some skeptics argue that science has disproved miracles and so disproved religion. The argument, when applied to Christianity, usually goes something like this. 1. Science is the only reliable way of discovering truth. 2. Science has studied the world and found no evidence of miracles. 3. So science has shown that miracles don't exist. If this argument is right, then it's important because the Bible claims that miracles are real. And if the Bible's wrong, then Christianity, which claims that the Bible is without error, is false. Before we get back to the drunkard looking for his keys, we can already spot a weakness in this argument. Step 1 of the argument, the idea that science is the only reliable way of discovering truth, is self-refuting. That's because the claim science is the only reliable way of discovering truth cannot itself be tested by science. So, as a non-scientific claim rejecting non-scientific claims, there's no way that it could be true. So, a bad start for the skeptics. But there's another problem here. A miracle, by definition, is something that doesn't have a natural cause. That's what makes it a miracle. For example, if we found out that there was a natural reason why Jesus rose from the dead, like a rare genetic mutation that allows some people to heal themselves after being dead for 3 days, then we wouldn't call it a miracle. And science, also by definition, is a tool for investigating things that have natural causes. So, by definition, science can't identify miracles. So the fact that science has never looked at something and verified it as a miracle proves literally nothing. It's like spending years using a metal detector to look for a plastic bracelet buried on the beach. You've wasted your time. So this brings us back to our drunkard, still searching under the streetlight. The drunkard has chosen to search for his keys under the streetlight, not because his keys might be there, but because he likes it as a place to search. Our skeptics are choosing to search for evidence of miracles through scientific investigation, not because miracles could ever be discovered there, but because it's the only way of searching for truth that they believe in. Both are committed to a way of searching that's guaranteed to fail. This leaves us with another question. We've established that science can only identify natural causes, but this doesn't prove that miracles are real. What would we see if miracles were taking place today? Would we see large numbers of scientists investigating them, finding no explanation for them, and so converting to Christianity and proclaiming the gospel? I don't think so. For a start, I think most miracles would never be formally investigated. 3 reasons for that. 1, miracles obviously have positive results, so there's not an urgent practical need to investigate them, like there would be if people were getting sick without explanation. 2, scientists tend to be more skeptical of the supernatural than the general population, so I guess many just wouldn't be interested in investigating miracle claims. 3, there probably aren't many rich organisations bankrolling research into miracles, so there's not much money in it for scientists. But of course, some miracles would be investigated, and scientists would look at the evidence and eventually say, I have no scientific explanation why that took place. And that would be it. Perhaps we'd see 1 or 2 people converting, but there'd be the exception to the rule. This might seem cynical, especially if we're used to seeing scientists as people who follow the evidence wherever it leads. But let me give you an example. In an interview, The atheist Peter Boghossian asked the atheist Richard Dawkins what it would take for him to believe in God. Dawkins said that even if God appeared to him directly, he would assume it was either a hallucination or a conjuring trick. Nothing could convince him that God was real, he said, because to him the very idea of the supernatural was incoherent. Whilst his audience laughed approvingly, to me this admission is very candid and quite sad. Essentially, he's saying that his commitment to materialism is so strong that he would automatically discount any evidence against it. He's admitting that he's no less of a fundamentalist than the religious fundamentalists he's spent decades of his life publicly mocking. That's it for today. Whilst this video wasn't based on a single source, it was very influenced by Tim Keller's The Reason for God. It's a great book. Do like, subscribe, share and comment if you want. Thanks for watching.